Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to my match reaction to Liverpool 5, Everton 2. Everton lose the Merseyside Derby quite convincingly at Anfield, as if that was ever in doubt from the minute we went behind. The 6 minutes to be exact. It was a chastening experience, and to be honest, I think everybody bar the most optimistic Everton fan was anticipating that anyway before the game. Many people thought it may well be one of the bleakest days in our history, and it was not far off, to be honest with you, given the way a lot of fans are feeling post-match. As so often has been the case with this fixture, I'm actually just glad it's over and done with. To hear them constantly goading us with the going down chant was probably the most painful part of the night for me. To make matters worse, the defeat leaves us in the relegation zone because Southampton won tonight. The one positive there was I was watching it on Amazon Prime and I was impressed with their coverage. They have a new stadium atmosphere mode, which meant that although I had to listen to them singing that, it was still actually better than listening to Sky commentary with Martin Tyler and Jamie Carragher. So every cloud, I suppose. On to the actual game. Liverpool, as we unfortunately expected, were by far the dominant side throughout. They exploited our absolutely shocking defensive setup, with them very much targeting particularly Michael Keane's lack of pace. Honestly, I have seen aircraft carriers turn quicker than Michael Keane. And let's be honest, they got a lot of success from it early doors. It was absolutely ludicrous to set the defence up when you consider the pace that their attack has got. This defensive naivety is without a doubt the primary cause for this defeat, or at least this margin of defeat. And also that kind of lack of organisation can often cost managers their jobs when you're in quite a perilous situation like we are most certainly now. Personnel-wise today, I thought Alex Iwobi put in an absolute stinker first half, and to be honest, he wasn't necessarily much better in the second. Davis and Sigurdsson, once again, were completely overrun in midfield. Davis was very, very weak, physically overrun. Gylfi Sigurdsson was completely passive in a Merseyside derby. For goodness sake, does he even realise what game he's playing in? Right now, it just seems to me that Gylfi Sigurdsson is literally useless to this team in whatever role he seems to play. Djibril Sidibe today showed why there may well have been a lot of clamour behind those rumours that we were going to cancel his loan deal early. He was an absolute disgrace. He wouldn't have looked out of place in the non-leagues. He was hooked after the third goal went in, so that was only about half an hour into the game, and in fairness, we at least looked somewhat like a professional football team from there on in, albeit still a very rubbish one at that. But for me, the worst player today was Jordan Pickford. Once again at Anfield, he's made an absolute mockery of himself, and as a result, he's made a mockery of the club. For all those people who worry about maybe bigger clubs coming calling for Jordan Pickford, there is a reason they aren't, and it's performances like this. Games which just maybe get the better of him, the big occasion. He couldn't do a thing right today, it seemed. He did improve as the game went on, but it was still not good enough. On top of that, I don't think Pickford's having a great season anyway this year. And if he carries on like this, to be honest, he'll probably lose his England place for the Euros as well. So he really does need to get a grip. I'm not bashing him completely. I do think he has potential to become a very, very good goalkeeper, and I think he will do that, but he does seriously need to get a grip before anyone can consider him to be a top quality keeper at this moment in time. There's certainly plenty of room for improvement anyway. On a more positive note, we scored 2 goals, which in itself is not only a Christmas miracle for Everton in away Merseyside derbies, but just for Everton in general right now. We've been really struggling for goals. I thought Bernard and Richarlison were 2 alright players when Bernard came on. Him and Richarlison were 2 of the shining lights, but they were alright and nothing more, and that says a lot about our performance. Moise Keane came on again and looked decent. That is literally that as far as positives are concerned. Everton are an absolute shambles. Marco Silva's got to go. Most of this team needs to be banished to the most desolate part of Siberia, and the worst thing is we've got to go and do this all again in the FA Cup in a month's time. What a time to be alive. So yeah, that is it from me tonight. I've got nothing more to say. I'm not really going to waste any more of my energy tonight on this useless shower. I've got better things to be doing with myself, like getting some much needed rest. Just one shout out, this team is diabolical, the manager is horrific, and the state of the board of directors and the way they've conducted themselves lately is appalling. But one thing stood out for me tonight, in the midst of all this impending disaster that's been surrounding the club of late, you guys were still there at the ground singing your hearts out tonight. You're a braver person than me if you went tonight. Some fair play to you. You sung your hearts out even when we were getting taken apart at times. Not many fans would stick it out, despite what many will say. And I know at times our fans can be quite edgy and a bit grumpy, but we have seen some pretty bleak performances. But despite what many other fan bases may say about us, I think we are still, without doubt, some of the best fans in the land. The team, the manager, the board, everything could fall apart, but Everton will always be a great club for that reason. These players and managers will come and go, but we, the fans, are Everton Football Club, and we always will be. So if there's anything sort of positive to take away from that, I think we've just got to keep sticking together and get through this, because we've been through so many bad times, let's be honest, of late, and we can get through this as well. So there you have it. As always, drop us a comment below if you dare. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to get a more regular fill of my ranting, which seems to be the case on a regular basis these days. And despite everything, it's great to be able to keep making this content for you Evertonians. As the late Brian LeBon once said, just for being exactly that, you are worth 20 Liverpudlians. So there you go, guys. Try and get some rest. Know that there will be better days ahead, regardless of what may be in your immediate mindset. Stay strong, and of course, thank you guys for watching on the Toffee Blues.